The ratings are in for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS that features Sting's final Dynamite appearance prior to his retirement match this coming weekend at AEW Revolution. Alex Hammerstone has officially signed with TNA Wrestling. Cody Rhodes reportedly is set to be on the next 3 episodes of SmackDown alongside The Rock. Sting opens up on his goals for his final match in professional wrestling this weekend at Revolution. Details on why the Meat Madness match was pulled from the Revolution pay-per-view, and Sha Spears comments on his return to WWE in NXT. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's start off talking about the ratings for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. Now, the go-home edition of AEW Dynamite is in the books, and fans around the world are eager to see what will happen in Sting's final wrestling match this Sunday at AEW Revolution on pay-per-view. The question is, how many people tuned in to see one of the final stops on the road to Revolution? According to WrestleNomics, the February 28 episode of AEW Dynamite on TBS averaged a total of 822,000 viewers, a drop in average viewership from last week's episode by only 6,000. Despite a minimal drop in overall viewers, the number earned in the key 18 to 49 demographic didn't move, staying steady at a 0.29. However, this number wasn't enough to get them first place in Wednesday night's cable rankings, placing third behind 2 NBA games that aired on ESPN. Now, when it comes to the quarter-hour ratings, of course, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics. Shout out to them, and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon and visit their website. Now, like all weeks, Dynamite had a strong lead-in thanks to The Big Bang Theory, which brought in a strong 983,000 viewers into the 8 p.m. time slots. By the first ad break at the beginning of quarter-hour 2, viewership had dropped to 804,000. That number would peak at 835,000 viewers in quarter-hour 4, before finishing at 810,000 viewers by the time 10 p.m. rolled around. Dynamite did get a jump in viewership in the overrun period at the end of the show, with 891,000 viewers tuning in to witness Sting descend from the rafters for the final time. Fans who tuned in for the whole show got to witness a number of competitive matches, including Sky Blue defeating Chris Statlander, Chris Jericho forcing Atlantis Senior to throw in the towel for Atlantis Jr., Orange Cassidy make another defense of the AEW International Championship against Nick Wayne, and Bryan Danielson sending a message to Eddie Kingston as the Blackpool Combat Club defeated Kingston and FTR in a hard-hitting trios match. What do you make of this number? What do you make of the ratings for AEW Dynamite on TBS prior to AEW Revolution? Of course, we ask this question every single week, but the time continues to go on since AEW Dynamite reached 1 million viewers. What does AEW have to do? Can they reach 1 million viewers again? What are they going to do to reach that number? Do you think they'll ever reach it? Let me know your thoughts about it in the comments section below. Now, some positive news when it comes to TNA Wrestling. TNA has been in the headlines quite a lot over the last few weeks amid the corporate shake-up under the Anthem Sports and Entertainment umbrella. But some good news when it comes to TNA, when it comes to a big signing for the company. Because former MLW World Heavyweight Champion Alexander Hammerstone is now officially part of the TNA Wrestling roster. TNA announced on their social media that the ex-MLW star, who will now be going by the ring name Hammerstone, has joined the promotion. Immediately after the announcement of his signing, the promotion also revealed that Hammerstone will once again face former Impact World Champion Josh Alexander at the Sacrifice pay-per-view on March 8. The former MLW star had a short and simple message following his signing with TNA, quote, "Time to get to work." Hammerstone bid goodbye to MLW last year and became a free agent on January 1st of 2024 after a 5-year run with the promotion. Hammerstone has already wrestled in TNA, with his first match after becoming a free agent coming at January's Hard to Kill pay-per-view, where he faced and lost against Alexander. Hammerstone and Alexander had previously battled each other at the Battle in the Creek show in 2022 for PPW, when they were MLW World Heavyweight Champion and Impact World Champion respectively. TNA has announced 5 other matches for the Sacrifice pay-per-view aside from the aforementioned Hammerstone-Alexander match, which includes Moose defending the TNA World Championship against Eric Young, Jordan Grace putting her TNA Knockouts Championship on the line against Xia Brookside and Tasha Steelz, while Nick Nemeth, formerly Dolph Ziggler in WWE, is set to face off against Steve Macklin. Of course, that's Nick Nemeth coming off winning the IWGP Global Championship in New Japan Pro Wrestling. What are your thoughts on TNA announcing this signing? Is this a good bit of positive momentum for them in what's been a crazy couple of weeks? Let me know your thoughts about that as well. Now, it's SmackDown tonight, live on Fox, as we get closer to WrestleMania 40 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And we're going to be getting quite a few big appearances on the show. TKO Group Holdings Board of Directors member Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is about to have a new shadow in the form of the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes. Rhodes took to X to announce that he will be in town for the next 3 episodes of SmackDown, despite being a member of the Monday Night Raw roster. Meaning, Rhodes will be in the building with his newly budding rival, The Rock, as well as his WrestleMania 40 opponent, undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Now, the Bloodline members still haven't addressed Rhodes' recent challenge at Elimination Chamber in Perth, Australia, during a special edition of the Grayson Waller Effect. All 3 men will likely be heavily featured on the road to WrestleMania, with WWE World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins also haunting the fringes of the story. In fact, Rollins is set to be in town for tonight's show as well. Things came to a head at the recent WrestleMania 40 kickoff event in Las Vegas, Nevada, where Rhodes challenged Reigns and confronted The Rock, taking back his main event title match, which he nearly relinquished to the Great One just days earlier. As it stands, as I mentioned, World Heavyweight Champion Seth Rollins is also set to be on hand for tonight's edition of SmackDown in Glendale, Arizona, meaning the champion will likely be ignoring men's Elimination Chamber winner Drew McIntyre's attention in favor for whatever role he will play in the power struggle between Rhodes and the Bloodline. Of course, rumors have circulated that Rhodes and Rollins could team together to face The Rock and Reigns in a tag team match to close out night 1 of WrestleMania in Philadelphia. Now, as I mentioned, this weekend we'll see the final professional wrestling match of the Icon Sting. And speaking to Sports Illustrated, Sting has revealed that what he is planning for his final match at Revolution, and he's planning it to be a match for the ages. Sting has had an incredible career in professional wrestling, but just because his final match is set to occur on Sunday, March 3rd at AEW Revolution, it doesn't mean he plans to go out quietly. Speaking to Sports Illustrated about his final match, Sting had thoughts on what he wanted to accomplish in his final outing. Ahead of his AEW Revolution swan song, Sting said, quote, "I want people to walk away saying, how was that even possible? I want people to be entertained. I want to elevate AEW. I never wanted wrestling to pass me by. That's why I wrestled the way I did. This Sunday, I'm going to wrestle a way that will make people want to save the tape," end quote. Now, going on to describe his comfortability in the match, being helped by his tag team partner Darby Allin, Sting continued by saying, quote, "I'm in good hands next to Darby. It's been an honor to see him turn into this polished star. I'm grateful for my last hurrah was with him. I didn't teach him much about wrestling other than psychology here or there. Less is more. I taught him that. It's good to lose if you can lose the right way. Overall, he's got the wrestling down, but I've learned so much from him. I couldn't have been this successful without him." So Sting, full of praise for Darby Allin. Now, we were meant to have this match called Meat Madness this weekend at AEW Revolution. Of course, that match, though, is now no longer happening. Now, ever since the match between Miro and Powerhouse Hobbs at AEW All Out 2023, All Elite Wrestling fans have become accustomed to hearing the word meat during matches where 2 of the company's heaviest hitters go at it. That love of meat was going to be taken to another level at the upcoming Revolution pay-per-view, as AEW President and CEO Tony Khan announced that Meat Madness would take place between Hobbs, Lance Archer, and Wardlow. However, just before the February 28th edition of Dynamite, Tony Khan took to X to announce the match was cancelled due to injuries to the participants, with the new All-Star 8-man scramble announced in its place. Now, oddly, Hobbs, Archer, and Wardlow were all quickly announced for the scramble, leading to questions about who exactly had been injured and pulled from the match. Fightful Select dug a little bit deeper into the matter and reported that contrary to an injury to any of the aforementioned announced participants, Khan had actually planned to add other wrestlers into the mix, but they ended up being unavailable for Revolution. As of this recording, the plans for the people to be added in is currently a little bit murky. Some are suggesting it was meant to be Miro and meant to be Keith Lee. Of course, Miro has been absent for a little while. We're unsure if that's related to CJ Perry, her issues with her finger and her infection, or an injury to the Bulgarian Brute. When it comes to Keith Lee, the latest report was that he was set to undergo double surgery. Therefore, he was out of action for quite some time. Now, joining the original 3 participants in the All-Star 8-man scramble, the winner of which receives a shot at the AEW World Championship, are Chris Jericho, FTW champion Hook, and Brian Cage, with the final 2 slots set to be filled on tonight's episode of AEW Rampage and tomorrow's episode of AEW Collision. CMLL's Magnus will face Matt Sydal on Rampage for 1 shot, while Penta El Zero Miedo, Brian Keith, and Dante Martin will fight it out for the final spot this Saturday on Collision. Collision, of course, that's the night before AEW Revolution on pay-per-view. Finally, Sha Spears got people talking this week when he made his return to WWE after exiting AEW on this week's episode of NXT. This past Tuesday on WWE NXT, Sha Spears made his return to WWE after just over 5 years away. While he was known as Ty Dillinger during his previous run, it seems he'll continue with the name he used in AEW and on the independent wrestling scene. Spears made his grand return by attacking Ridge Holland from behind with a chair, and the Perfect 10 wrestler shared an additional comment on the situation on social media. He said, quote, "Sometimes the truth hurts, but if it comes from me, it always will." Now, Spears' words came while quoting a post that included several pictures of his return. Beginning at the NXT Vengeance Day Premium Live event, vignettes have been playing that featured cryptic wording with teasers of someone acting as a mirror to reveal the truth of others. These vignettes wound up referencing Spears, and it seems as though the latest version of his wrestling character will be playing some mind games with his opponents. Tuesday's debut came roughly 2 months after Spears announced that he would be leaving AEW. Spears debuted with the promotion at their very first show, AEW Double or Nothing 2019. Some of his biggest moments across his 4 years with the company include his feud against Cody Rhodes and his involvement with the Pinnacle. During the early days of the COVID-19 pandemic, Spears was one of the few wrestlers seated ringside for many of the matches, and he could often be seen placing bets alongside his future Pinnacle partner, MJF. During his time as Ty Dillinger, he was most associated with the Perfect 10 gimmick. That included Spears entering the 27 men's Royal Rumble match at the 10th spot and joining the company's main roster a few months later. Spears asked for his release in 2019 and went on to debut with AEW shortly thereafter. What do you think is going to happen with Sha Spears in WWE? Do you think he's going to go back to the main roster? Is this just an NXT thing? Is he going to become a trainer? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know your thoughts and reactions to that as well in the comment section below. But there you go, guys. Latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.